souls.
Mm-hmm.
They poured their heart out, not knowing the business 101 aspect of it. They gave this trust immediately to a stranger
Mm-hmm.
for it to just dismantle right in front of them. Their actual, what they created together and co-created, watch it being dismantled right in front of them. That's what grieved my soul, what grieved my heart, I should say, as to how he took that and said business is business and disassociated the human part of it.
Okay.
That's the part that I was like, how do you leverage yourself? Business is business, but
do you think McDonald's would be as big as it is now if he had not taken over the business and the two McDonald brothers who were content with that one location, if they just kept running that one location?
No, I see where you're going with this. I think that's what they would not. It may have not known because their whole intention, because they tried the franchise, were they fully educated on how the franchise may have maybe had they taken it in a different direction where they stayed through and endured the process and maybe connect with the right experts or qualified people who know what they're doing. I don't know that part of their experience other than the fact that they tried it and it didn't work.
Right.
Well, what does that mean? So otherwise, the royalty part of it, I think he could have handled that business part of it better, but then he got greedy.
Right.
Mr. Rock, what's his name is? Mr.
Kroc. Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc. Yes. I think his greed got into it instead of saying, no, business is business. Let me add some integrity and some ethical in it to where, okay, I fell in love with their name. Let me at least let them walk away with something outside of just a flat fee of whatever $1 million that they got. That didn't really resonate with me. But
did he put a gun to their head to make them sign the contract?
No, but I think he used their ignorance and their compassion of what they were trying to do for the community as their weakness.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
I
saw
thought
that
about that.
Yeah.
I thought, so I get everything that you're saying, but what always kind of stuck in the back of my mind as I was watching it is what Joy says is it's, what do you say, Joy?
It's
grimy out here in these business streets.
It's grimy out here in these business streets.
It's almost reminded of the movie Devil Advocate. He's like, I love that movie too. That's similar concept, the same principle. Like, I just gave you the opportunity. You made the decision.
Correct.
I did. So I hear what you're saying. Like, he didn't put a gun in their head. They still had an opportunity and then they had a choice. Now, was it a full choice of understanding? No, they didn't. I don't think they didn't give themselves enough grace to fully understand what they were, what outcome they were going to be getting. They kind of just went with the flow. Okay.
So on the personal side, in watching the movie The Founder, for those who haven't seen the movie, basically McDonald's was started by two brothers. They had one location in California. A salesperson who was selling milkshake machines saw the vision on how they had a system, wanted to partner with them, saw a vision of doing a franchise model, basically stole McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers, offered them a flat fee for basically the business, and they signed it. And he owned all the real estate, and he owns all the McDonald's, and he grew them. And they were left with that one Didn't he take over the location though?
He took over their name. Yeah. Forget the location. He took over their name.
So he ended up taking over the entire McDonald's, and they were left with nothing. Okay. So on the personal side, what I want you guys to see is the McDonald's brothers, they literally came up with everything but the expansion. So the recipes, the system, how it's It's
Which was genius.
it's
The system was
it's a
genius.
bun with X amount of pickles and X amount of onions. And back in the days, this is like in the early 50s or 60s. There were no. This is the first concept of fast food. Everything else out was like a diner. So they literally came up with this ingenious idea. But on the personal side, I want you to look at this as, put your feelings aside. Because if you watch it and you're in love with the McDonald brothers, you're going to hate Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc is the guy that basically took McDonald's from them. But they agreed, I think, to $1 million buyout. And at the end of the movie, they said that if they had just got a royalty to this day, it would have been worth like in the hundreds of millions of dollars, right? But they chose $1 million because that lump sum sounded good. And they basically were being bulldozed. Ray Kroc, the guy who took the idea, he just kept punking them. He kept thinking 2 steps ahead, and they were just tired of going head to head, and they just gave in. On the personal side, sometimes we sell ourselves short. Sometimes we just get tired of life, hitting us back and forth over our head, and we just give up. Sometimes we don't see our true value, and we start accepting things as we start placing the value on us as what someone else is placing on us. So Ray Kroc said, hey, your interest is worth to me $1 million. Here you go. Now, that's not what he really thought that their interest was worth. He just wants to know, what is the lowest number I can pay you that you will agree? So in life, some people are giving you the bare minimum, hoping and wishing that you will accept that and be content with that. And if you don't say, well, no, I'm worth more, if you keep accepting the bare minimum, or if you keep accepting the crumbs, who's really at fault? The person who's giving out or handing out the breadcrumbs, or the person who's accepting them? So when in the movie, no one had a gun to the McDonald brothers' head. I don't know why they wouldn't go talk to a lawyer, to see, hey, is this the best thing for me to sign? I don't know why they couldn't see if this man who didn't create any of this, if he's opening up location after location after, he saw the vision. A lot of times people see your worth. They see your strength. They see your light. But they want you to believe that you aren't worth what they see you, because they want to get you for half the cost. And no one puts a gun to our head to stay in situations where we're getting the bare minimum. No one has a gun to our head if we are, no one makes us do anything. So on the personal side, I wanted you guys to watch Founder, because the McDonald brothers were just literally punked out of their business. But what they failed to realize is, this was my business. I'm accepting what I would call a quick buck. $1 million today seems like a lot of money if I don't have $1 million in the bank. But if Ray Kroc would have said, hey guys, I'm going to give you $1 million, but my vision for the company is to grow it to $1 billion. So do you want this 1 million? Is I'm about to grow into a multi-billion company? Well, if someone were to really come and tell you what your real worth is and make you see who you really were, then you'd be like, well, no, I think I deserve more. But what I want you to understand is, there are some people who are going to prey on your naivety, prey on your insecurities, prey on you not knowing all of the angles, prey on, hey, if I can package up something that's just subpar, but I have a cute bow on it, can I sell you with the bow for you to discount yourself? So on the personal side, I want us to take from this movie is, we have to always see our value. It doesn't matter what someone offers us, because Ray was giving them $1 million. They could have been like, no. It's not what someone offers you. It's not what someone thinks about you. Your real value is what you see in yourself and what you demand for yourself. And so if no one is buying what you're selling, you're just selling it to the wrong person or the wrong crowd. And that goes in if in business, if no one's paying you your worth, well, maybe we're at the wrong place. It doesn't mean that your worth is changed. If I buy $100,000 Mercedes Benz off the showroom floor, and I go, and say and offer it to my son, hey, how much would you pay for this car? He may say, well, $5, because $5 is a lot of money to him. It doesn't change the value of the Mercedes just because someone's offering me to buy it for less. So that's what I want you guys to get from that. Any thoughts on that?
No, I think also we gotta make sure that we have access to contracts too. Like that was one thing that really stood in the back of my mind at all times was what type of contracts are available. Like what Ruth was saying was like there is that, like they didn't know, what they don't know, they don't know. Ignorance is bliss. But I think too they didn't have the money to be able to afford an attorney, a business attorney. And just like what you're saying, they preyed off of it, or he preyed off of it. Ray Kroc preyed off of them not having the money. He saw it, and he said it in the movie too, was, where are you going to get the money from? You don't have the money to do this. Come after me. And he was ready to go to war with them. But I think contracts, like having knowledge of contracts just to protect yourself.
Correct.
There's so many out there.
Let me back it up. How did Ray Kroc get access to everything? If you realize in the beginning of the movie, the McDonald brothers saw themselves as two guys who owned a hamburger joint. So when you see yourself as just owning a hamburger joint, you treat yourself how you see your value. So from the beginning, he came in and they're showing him the systems. They're allowing him to come on in and, learn everything. He just walked on into their entire business. And because they only saw McDonald's as this one location in a suburb of California, they had their guard down. A lot of times, go ahead.
That, Joy. I like how you said that, because the gentleman, I don't know if I should call him a gentleman, but the businessman, he came in educating them on their product. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you know what you're selling? Mm-hmm. Do you see he sold them on their vision.
Correct.
Like, I don't think you all are seeing how I'm seeing it.
Correct.
And it's like, they were looking like, well, tell me. Then the gentleman guys, the McDonald guys got curious.
Right.
Like, what is it that you see that I'm not seeing?
Right.
So to your point, as to whether or not did they see in the beginning, they were just an open book because they didn't see they didn't see themselves as the royalty of their business.
Correct.
They didn't treat it as a delicacy.
Correct.
They didn't treat it as, although they loved and they saw how people were coming in and how people were actually relishing on the ambiance and how fast they were getting their food and they could just throw it in the trash can. They just didn't see it in the level, in the eyes of the source of the businessman.
Correct.
Yes, they couldn't see it through his lens.
Correct. And so sometimes we don't see how valuable we are. Sometimes, I always say this, whenever you're good at something, you don't really understand like how good you are because it just comes naturally to you, right? So yeah, I speak 5 languages, big deal, everyone can. Well, no, everyone can't. Yes, I'm good at people skills and everyone isn't. So Ray Kroc, the businessman, he is going from state to state to state, selling these, what was he selling? Selling some kind of shake machine. So he's seeing all the restaurants around the country as to how backwards they are, how the food, it takes a long time. So then when he sees this, and the McDonald brothers are just, hey, we want a hamburger place. We want to make it, where people just come and get food quickly. It's just our little idea. I mean, we just started this. We're just two brothers. I mean, they didn't see the value in what they had. After they sold their business for pennies on the dollar, and they saw McDonald's now grow to what it was, now they saw, oh my gosh, we really created a masterpiece. How many times have we not realized, whoa, I had myself in a situation where this person had no business even knowing my last name. Or I was in a situation, I was at a job, and maybe I shouldn't even had my resume there. I'm in a friendship, and this person should have never even been able to call me a friend, nothing less an associate. But sometimes we don't see our value. We don't see our worth. We don't see what we're bringing to the table. So we're just accepting whatever someone's offering us, we're just accepting it. And so, as you're watching the movie, if you're on the McDonald brothers side, you're going to feel for them, because once he got in, he literally stole their business from him. He just took it over. He done took the milk out the milkshake. He done sold all the frank. It's just like, and they kept getting punked and punked and punked and punked and punked. Now,
can I say what I've learned from that is that he had the upper advantage of studying the dynamics of the business by knowing their competition, knowing that what they had was a unique value proposition, that the other ones that came close, but they were just missing these 2-3 steps to making them really push and pivot in the avenue that they did as the McDonald's. So he had that upper leverage where he studied, like you said, he went to different restaurants and saw what their shortcomings were and where they were not so good at.
Correct.
When he came to McDonald's, he was like, what is this?
Right.
Is nowhere near what I came across. Tell me more. He
right.
got curious, greedy at the same time.
He also had a really strong drive compared to them, though. I think. I mean, he even went after the other man's wife. Like, he was gritty. He was like, I'm going to go and get what I want.
Right.
But he had drive. It was another vantage point that he had. And I think that, when you look at like all the motivational videos and, you listen to people speak about motivation and, they have these habits that create this drive. And he naturally had that, I think, and that was in him.
So on the business side, what we can take from this also is, like, to piggyback what you're saying, is Ray Kroc didn't take no for an answer. He said, hey, I see something. How they are running everything in the system, how they have this line, how the food's coming out fast, how they have this limited menu. I mean, I see something. I'm not going to stop until I have it. And he went through money issues. He had his own roadblocks. He done left his wife. He done stole someone else's wife. He was trying to, understand how can this be in every state across America? He went and talked to bankers. He went and talked to attorneys. He went and found out. He didn't take no for an answer. So although we may not like him because we saw him, punk the McDonald brothers, it is what it is. It's called business, right? Eat or get eaten, kill or be killed, period. What we can take from it, though, is he never stopped. So whatever is the vision that God gave you, you have to be as relentless as Ray Kroc was. Ray Kroc is the CEO of McDonald's before he died, and his name is not McDonald's. Everyone thinks, if you met someone right now and they say my great granddad was one of the founding McDonald brothers, you would think they were rich, right? Baby, they not. McDonald's is even owned by a McDonald. A McDonald isn't even getting a check from McDonald's. So, number one, Ray Kroc shows you how relentless you have to be, how you can't take no for an answer, how nothing can stand in your way when it comes to getting what it is that you need. Now, I'm not saying, that Ray Kroc had the best integrity, okay? So I wouldn't say take someone's wife and, punk, I wouldn't say do all that. But he was relentless in not taking he had so many no's, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until he got the yes, until he got his vision how it wanted to be. Another thing I want you guys to look at is you don't have to always create the vessel. Sometimes the vessel that God's going to use for you to, take your life to that next level, you don't have to go get it from scratch. He didn't start McDonald's from scratch. It was already packaged to him. He had the whole system. He had the ingredients. He had the restaurant. Everything was just packaged to him. He just had the vision as to how to multiply it and get it across the U.S. So when it comes to however God is going to use you or use someone to help you, don't think that it has to start from the beginning. He may partner you with someone who already has half the building built. You're just going to start from the half that's already built and prosper it. You're not always going to be starting from ground zero, right? So maybe you think, if I start this job, I got to start, at minimum wage or the base salary, and I got to be there for 2-3 years and work my way up. When God gives you that increase, you're not going to start from ground zero. So Ray Kroc didn't start. Now, I'm not saying that, what he did was all in God, because he was wrong for a lot of things. So let me not, I don't want you to take how he maneuvered it. I want you to get the concept. Ray Kroc didn't start from zero. He already had the baby formed. He just had to have the baby grow. So you may meet someone at Starbucks who has half of what you need or has all of what you need, but your 2 cents just makes it grow. Or you may have started something from scratch and you're going to run into someone who can help you multiply what you already have. So when God gives you that increase, as long as you are diligent and relentless and don't take no for an answer, he can increase it with, as quick as possible. You don't have to, it's not going to always be, I got to start it from the beginning and then go through the normal steps in growing it. Because all Ray was looking for is who understands what I'm saying. We're going to take a concept and just run it the same way. So the McDonald's in California is the same as the one in Mississippi. He's looking for people that had like minds and who could see his vision. That's why he left his wife, because she wasn't understanding any of this. And he got that new wife who understood all of what he was saying. Although he took someone's wife, I'm not condoning that. That was not right. But he's looking for people who have like minds. So it's like, sometimes we're selling ourselves short. On the flip side, we can never take no for an answer. So whenever you are offered something, I want you to don't just jump on it because it sounds good. Don't just jump on it because it looks good. Don't just jump on it because you've gotten all these no's and that's your first yes. Think about the McDonald brothers. Before I just say yes and take this opportunity, take this job, take this relationship, take this friendship, is this what I am worth? Not I'm thirsty, I'm dehydrated, and someone gives me a small little cup, and because I'm so thirsty, I just want a quick sip. That's how we get so short a lot of times. We just jump on the first thing smoking without really saying, is this what I am really worth? Anyone want to add anything else that they took from the Founder movie?
Hello?
Yes. How you doing?
Yes, hi. Hi, my name is Yaya Bongo. I'm currently in Africa, so that's why I'm like trying to stay awake, but I put my alarm to be up because here it's almost like we're 6 hours ahead. So I wanted to give a case study to that's an example of McDonald's, but also what you were talking about, the vessel that God might put somebody there so you wouldn't have to start from scratch. So the example is Apple. So Apple didn't invent the MP3. It was invented by Itachi. And it was basically this little mini disc that you would buy, and then you would record the songs, and then you would put it in almost like a, like we had those Walkman back in the days, like these tapes. And then Apple realized how you could store so much music or items on this little mini disc. So they basically took the technology from Itachi, and then from there they built the iPod. That's how the iPod was created. And even like how Apple created their interface, they took from Xerox. So when Microsoft started trying to do like Apple, and then Steve Jobs wanted to sue Microsoft, Bill Gates said, "Oh, but you stole, and now you want to sue me for trying to change my interface." So we're talking about things that are happening on a big level, but Steve Jobs had to have some losses too initially when he first started. And he didn't give up because he so believed in the iPod that it was going to change the whole music category, but also how we how we use music, how we access music. So for him, it was like, okay, this is an all or nothing. Because many times before, Apple almost went bankrupt.
Right.
And so it is when he did the iPod that he was able to really start scaling the business of Apple. And then from the iPod, he went into the iPhone, and then he created this whole iTunes that everybody's using, Google Play, everything. But he basically went from this little idea of like, this MP3 is going to change the world. And he never gave up. So I wanted to say that you're right. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel from scratch.
Correct.
You might want to modify it, or you might want to add a few things to it. But if you really, like you say, stay with it, then you might come out with something, And also the thing I wanted to say is that sometimes we don't listen to our intuition, especially women. Women are more intuitive than men.
Correct.
And that's their God-given power. And even mothers can agree with that. Sometimes your child's going to cry even a minute or seconds before the child starts crying. And the problem is that with women is that sometimes we doubt ourselves. Sometimes when we're in a room full of men, or if we're interacting with men, we tend to unconsciously defer to them. How we write our emails, how we interact. And the thing is, women, we're intuitive. And sometimes we need to listen to that little voice, even if it's small, and because then in hindsight, you're like, oh my God, I knew this was going to happen.
Right.
Or I should have listened more to, I felt it. Sometimes God has given us tools to put us on the right track. Sometimes it might be our gut, or sometimes we don't feel well, or we felt something, or sometimes something happened, and sometimes we keep pushing through, and sometimes we may not push through. So that's why I always tell people, why don't you really sleep on it?
Right.
Why don't you take time for it? Why don't you do due diligence? And that's another thing that we don't do a lot, I think, due diligence. Sometimes there's some opportunities and we're like, oh my God, this sounds so great. Maybe it's too good to be true. Well, most of the time it could be too good to be true. Maybe you just need to go do your due diligence and really do a deep dive, because that's your baby. And you're going to realize that, oh no, some things don't make sense.
Right.
Like for me, initially I have a consultant firm in oil and mining, and I'm trying to like leave that one behind. When I started doing the challenge, and you started saying, but what are your God-given talent? Like what's something that comes naturally to you, right? And so for me, it's like helping others. When I was doing the whys, and I kept writing, to help others is to help yourself. And I have this other thing that I do with like friends that are like celebrities and stuff. And We go out, we look at their spiritual side of their business, how they're feeling and stuff. And I've been doing that like for so long because I have a lot of friends in the industry. And then I was like, wait, maybe Miss Joy is right. Like, I want to do my wellness. I had so many business on my list, and I was like, well, maybe I need to just focus on the wellness. Like, I'm a certified yoga teacher, even though I don't teach. I have all this network of people, and I want to bring this knowledge that I get from going to retreats around the world to people in my community, and to especially women, and to say, well, here are those tools that you can use that will help you take care of yourself, get your mind straight, And so I really wanted to thank you for the Becoming Challenge. Because initially when I was like, when am I going to take Becoming Challenge? I was like, I'm Tap A. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. And then when I started taking the whole package, the transformation bundle, I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. This is amazing. I was like, where? Okay. And I was like, because there were certain areas that didn't concern me. But there was other things that I forgot. And then when I looked at my list and you were talking about the cheerleader and like what you wanted to do. And I was like, oh my God, a lot of those things are passion projects. A lot of those things are like things that I'm interested in, but they're not necessarily what I want to do. So I really wanted to thank you because I was like, I didn't think initially I took it because I saw you on my Instagram and I loved seeing what you're writing. And then I was like, okay, well, let me take it. And I wanted to say, it's been really transformative. Like for somebody who's in like a high-end, like men business. I never thought like taking this Becoming Challenge would actually get me to have so much clarity,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That is good.
Yes. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else want to share anything that they took from the from the Founder movie? Or we tapped out on Founder now? Okay, we're tapped out on Founder. Okay, so we're not going to
tapped out. Can I say something?
You sure can. Go ahead.
Everybody.
Hi.
So I feel like the guy that was married to the young lady, he already knew that he was going to steal his wife because the way he was looking at him, every time when he looked at his wife, she had that energy between. So when they initially had sat at the table and when he walked and he was looking at her before he found out that he was married to her, he actually went over there and sat beside her to play the piano and got to start singing with her. The husband already knew it. It's unfortunate, but he knew it, And then it's like they had that business connection later on. They seen the whole idea of running a business versus the wife, his previous wife, and also the young lady, previous husband. They seen that vision, but the ex-husband and wife did not see the same vision that they did.
Correct.
Yeah, so it was a good movie. Just like you said before, it's a dog-eat-dog world, you know what I mean? So you have to have all your ducks in a row when you're running a business. All of your documentation, the forms, and all of that. So I have learned so much with this Becoming Challenge just as well. I'm working on a lot of things. I just started 2 LLCs, but I'm still learning. I got my LLCs. I went to the bank, opened up both of my bank accounts and stuff like that. But it's because I still have a full-time job, but I'm still learning in the process. And it's a lot.
It is.
It's not easy. It's not. It's a lot of work. But I enjoyed this Becoming Challenge and meeting new people, new faces, and learning about other people's businesses just as well. So, but it was a really, really good movie.
So another thing I can add, Miss Nicole brought a good point. Ray Kroc, the guy who stole the business, he could not have grown McDonald's to what it wanted to be if he was still married to his wife.
Absolutely.
His first wife had an issue with all that because he was incurring debt. He was mortgaging that home. He was taking out loans. He was like, I'm about to give everything for this vision. And she was like, hold on. Why are you doing this? No. So another little nugget we can take is sometimes maybe we are stagnant, or maybe we can't get to where we're supposed to be because we are hooked up with the wrong person. We're on the wrong team. We have someone who is drilling a hole in our boat, and we keep paddling fast, trying to understand why you're not going nowhere. Why do I always feel like I'm sinking, but I'm putting all my effort into it? Sometimes it's not your effort. Sometimes you just linked up with the wrong person. You have the wrong person on your team, and they are sabotaging all what you're trying to do. So you're constantly on this hamster wheel. You're always moving. You're tired. You're drained, but you're not getting any movement. You're not progressing. So if you feel like you're stuck and you are giving it all, but you just aren't, you're taking 2 steps forward to take 3 steps back, you may need to reassess who's on your team. Who are you linked to? Who are you confiding in? Because sometimes if you're listening to the wrong guidance, you have the wrong person, your best friend may be wrong for you in this new season. Your husband or wife may be wrong for you in this new season. Like, life has seasons, and sometimes there are some people that are going to be in your life for a lifetime. And then there's some people who are just in your life for a season. We don't have to hate them when that season ends. We ain't got to be enemies. It's just where I'm trying to go to. You're not the person that can help me get there. You are weighing me down. It's nothing personal. That's your best friend since elementary school. Y'all shot marbles together. Y'all done cut up Barbie hair together. That's your best friend. But at this level in your life, she just can't come with you. It's nothing personal. We ain't gotta hate each other and unfollow her. And it's just the season has just ended. The chapter is done. That book is done. Our time together is just done. And a lot of times we have a problem with endings because we don't realize that when God ends something, he's only ending it because he needs you to begin something else. And so we're so tied to our comfort zone and wanting to be what we're used to, not understanding that God's saying, okay, this time for you is done. I'm trying to elevate you and take you somewhere else. But everyone can't always go with us to that next level. And you can't be who you're destined to be if you're linked to certain people. That person may have been only to get you from point A to point B, but you can't get to C, D, E, F, G all the way on with that person. Their time just stopped at B. And so we have to be able to realize when that time is over and be able to make our exit. That person may not understand the exit. They may have a problem with the exit. Whatever the case may be, you have to understand when, you know what, I feel like I just need to either be alone or I need to relocate or be somewhere else because the situation that I'm in, I'm not getting any traction. I'm not getting any movement. I feel like this time is over. Now, as women, a lot of times, we gonna paint the red pink and we gonna tell ourselves, well, they really didn't mean it. I'm gonna give them one more chance, and that one more chance turns to 100,000 more chance. And because we just want to, we look at all the time we invested, and I want to make this work. And God's like, baby, it's not working. Like, how many other times do you want me to show you how it's not working? And so,
how many times you have to be slapped in the face to know, like, this is not it?
Correct.
And we do it as women all the time. Mm-hmm. We see things, but we try not to see them. Mm-hmm. And I say that because I had a friend, like maybe over 30 years, and just found out a couple of years ago that she was never my friend. She lied about things that she had that she didn't have. Houses and cars. I'm like, why would you lie to me? We grew up as kids together. Mm-hmm. We're not in competition. If we're going to move up as business women, we're supposed to come together as a collective and work with one another instead of being jealous of each other. That doesn't make sense, but it happens all the time.
Correct.
It's unfortunate though, because you think that, that's my ace, you know what I'm saying? That's my road dog, that's her, but at the end of the day, she's trying to sabotage everything that you work hard for.
So to keep it on a positive note, we can just focus on, I'm sure you had 1 or 2, 3 good times with her, right, Miss Nicole?
Yeah.
So maybe she was in your life for those 3 good times, and now it is over.
Yeah.
Because Ray Kroc wouldn't, if Ray Kroc had stayed with that wife, they would have been arguing and fussing, and he wouldn't have been able to grow there would be no McDonald's today. It'd be one location in San Bernardino, California. That's what it would be today.
That's so true.
But he knew it's not working. So why are we always trying to fix something that's just broke down? Why are we trying to force something to work? It's not working. It's like you have a 1995 Cadillac with 300,000 miles on it. You on one tire and 3 spares. The transmission out, now the engine out, and you steady trying to revive this 1995 Cadillac. And if you just walk down the street, they making 2024 Cadillacs. But you trying to hold on and revive the 1995 Cadillac. You done put a new engine in, a new timing belt. You done got, it's just like, baby, no matter what you do to this, it's just not going to be what you need it to be.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we get stuck in our comfort zone. We rather hold on to the 95 Cadillac versus walking down the street to the Cadillac dealership and driving out the showroom floor with a 2025 with no miles with no miles, leather interior, Bose speakers, heated seats. But we want to hold on because we done spent all these years and I done put all this. Baby, there's something bigger and better.
Yeah.
But we want to hold on to what we used to because it's what we're used to. The McDonald brothers were just, they couldn't look past that one location. They couldn't even see past that one location. And he's selling franchises, baby. Forget you seeing it. There's like 50 other people who are buying what you created. And they still not seeing, no, we just want to be small. We want to just we are just fine with this one location. And everyone's saying, well, this is a gold mine. We want to have this one location. So Ray Kroc said, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna just go make it happen. Let me go ahead and get the trademark. Let me go ahead and buy the real estate. Let me go ahead and get a whole bunch of more people. Let me get some attorneys on here. Let me give you a contract. You so mad at him, you can't even see that he is stealing the business up under you. You're not doing no consulting. You just signing some stuff. You keep underestimating what he's doing, and he's coming. He done came in here and took the whole business, the entire business.
Yeah, the only thing they own is what was in the inside after he bought the real estate.
Now what you gonna do when they own the dirt?
Yeah.
But see, some people, when you don't see your value and they see it, they gonna come in and take everything that you can offer. And then still move on. Once they deplete you of all what you got, they done moved on. And you over here mad and how they gonna use me? Baby, didn't no one put a gun to you. You sold yourself short. You gave it away for free. You kept letting them come in and you allowed all of that. So on the business side, you have to put your gloves on. And there is no kindness in business if you don't take that extra due diligence, pay the extra money to make sure you understand what you're signing. Someone can come in and take everything that you have just like that. On the personal side, if you don't know your value, you will sell yourself short and then want to kick yourself later on down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
So I know it was painful watching it, depending on what side you was on. But I know me personally, I can relate, because sometimes depending on what season you're in, you may not see your value. You may not see your greatness. You just may be in an season. And then when you get gone, you be mad at them, and you be more mad at yourself. Like, how did I allow this to happen? And boom, boom, boom. And now we on a spiral because we are mad at us, right? That's why last week or 2 weeks ago, I had the whole let it go plate. You made a mistake. Let it go. Stop talking about it. Stop reliving it. Hindsight is 20/20 or 50/50, whatever it is. But you let it go so that you can just go continue to go get your next blessing. God don't just have one blessing for you. So if you miss out on one, no problem. Go ahead and get the next one. Miss Latrice, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
Just wanted to add, I guess, to the conversation about the movie. First of all, again, I'm an empath, highly emotional, so I understand it from a business perspective, but it really turned me off when I saw the movie years ago, and that's when I stopped eating McDonald's, because I just can't, like, it. I feel too much. But anyway, just to and again, understanding it from a business perspective, but still feeling for the individuals. And the thing that came to mind also, in addition to, of course, knowing your value is key in doing it. But one of the things that I had learned in the research of me trying to step into an entrepreneurial spirit, one of the things that I learned was that they say that it's for you as a business person going into the entrepreneur world, is to know the type of entrepreneur you are, meaning your entrepreneurial DNA. And that's a builder, an innovator, an opportunist, or a specialist. And because, again, I think just like personalities and different things that we have, you have to kind of know yourself to know where and that's, I think, key. So I just kind of wanted to add that to the conversation, to know who you are, in addition to due diligence and discernment and intuition, all those things. But in kind of going into the business world, to know what your, DNA is, because everybody is not going to, excel at the same thing.
Correct. Well, thank you, Ms. Latrice. Anyone else want to add their views or their opinion on Founder? I'm looking in the chat. Put anyone in the chat? Let me see. Okay, we're done with Founder? Okay. Well. Okay, so that's the Founder. Okay. So, what I want us to focus on for this week is, from the Founder, the concept of stay ready. Okay? I always like the slogan, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So, when we are in life, in your personal business, in your personal life, and in your business life, you always want to have yourself positioned for that. Whenever the next opportunity comes, I'm ready. Whenever the next whatever comes, I'm ready. We don't have to now all of a sudden get ready. Okay? So, if we're going to talk about on our personal lives, what can we do every single day that is going to help us be able to be ready for that next opportunity? Okay? If we have some things that we need to work on, are we working on them? Are we in counseling? Are we taking the course? Are we doing whatever it is that we know that we need to do to work on things, right? If we are a messy person, do you have after 3 days, I know I got to, go on ahead and, walk around this house or walk around my car and get some things back in order. If I know, for personal development, I really need to be working on X, Y, and Z. Are you reading a book? Are you listening to a video? Are you taking a course working on X, Y, and Z. What you don't want to happen is an opportunity come to your front door, but you can't monopolize on it because you aren't ready. You aren't ready because emotionally, you went through a traumatic experience 2 years ago, right? And you just haven't gone through healing. You still on the phone with your mama, talking about, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now you meet a new group of girlfriends, but you still damaged. You ran into a nice guy or a nice girl, but you still damaged. You still, not healed. So you're missing out on the opportunity. Maybe we done put on some weight. Let me go ahead and get these last 6 pounds. I'm playing with myself, right? But we're not doing what we need to do to be our best self. And then we are presented in an opportunity. Hey, I got this trip. I don't want a trip to the Bahamas, but I don't want to be in a swimsuit because I know I'm 6 or 10 pounds over my plane weight, right? So what are you doing to stay ready? A lot of times we don't have the opportunities, not because they didn't come to us. It's because when they came, we weren't ready. In our business, what are we supposed to be doing? What are the goals that we wrote down on our vision board? Are we every day, working towards those goals? Or did we kind of just take 3 months off and just kind of, lost focus, right? Now, someone wants to partner with you if you have X, Y, and Z and you didn't quite get to X, Y, and Z. It's going to be not having the opportunity is easier than actually having the opportunity and you weren't able to, exercise on it, or you had to pass up on it because you weren't ready. It was something that you could have done to get yourself ready. You just chose, I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow turns to next month and next month turns to 3 months. And then we done forgot about it. And then, it's real quick to kind of get off track. So whatever you wrote down on your vision board, whatever are those goals, every week, every month, we need to be going through those. Am I doing something towards those goals? If I have a whole bunch of goals, maybe I have 10 goals. Maybe I'm saying for this first quarter or these first 3 months, let me just focus on 4 goals, right? I can't work on all 10. But I can at least work on the 4. What am I doing every single day or every single week towards those goals? Because you are the most important person. I know we are all taking care of other people. Our moms, our spouses, our parents, our kids. But we can never forget you. Because if once you become drained, once you become empty, you can't pour into anyone else. When you're drained, when you're empty, you become stagnant. Once you become stagnant, we're not growing. So everyone that is depending on us, we're just stuck here. The more we grow, the more we develop ourselves, the more we become, we're also being an example to those who we are raising or people who are looking up to us. She overcame this. He overcame that. He never stopped. She kept growing and developing and growing and developing and growing and developing. So let me go ahead and get myself together. You could be inspiring a friend. You could be inspiring just a person who's just following you on social media. You don't know them, but they just keep seeing you always thriving and you are taking this class and you got this promotion at your job and they just always see you on your stuff. And so in a year from now, although we're going to have new goals on the list, you're going to have to pat yourself on back. Like, you know what, this year, I really accomplished a lot. Or this year, I had a really tough year, but I never gave up. I still showed up for myself every single day. And so as we go from year to year, every couple months, as time goes on, you're going to see how much of a stronger person you are. Ooh, back in the day, if this would have happened, I would have been fought somebody. Or back in the day, if this would have happened, I would have been quit. Or back in the day, you're going to start to see your growth. And then as you see your growth, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. I never thought that I would be here after what I went through in blah, 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 I never thought that I could come out of that smoke and still keep going. And as long as you are growing and coming out of the smoke and developing, you're also going to be helping other people who are just rooting for you in the background. And then as you grow, they grow. And so as a community, we're all growing. That's why I wanted to call the challenge Becoming, not getting unstuck. I wanted to focus on the positive. Who am I going to become in 2024? It's limitless to who you can become. And then after we become whoever we became in 2024, all these homework assignments and all these tools are for us just to keep doing them. So once we knock off all the 1 year goals and we became the person we thought we was going to be, now who's the next person we're going to be? So this becoming challenge ritual never stops. Once you get everything on, it's not just, okay, we don't pass go, no more $200. It's continuing. Now, I'm a Beyonce fan, right? She done went from to girl group to R&B love songs to, this last album gave us a little, house, a little techno. Baby, now I gotta go buy me a cowboy hat and some cowboy boots. Now we country. Now we got one of the line dance, right? But as an artist, she's always developing. She's always changing. I love R&B. I wish she could just be R&B and just, sing us all these R&B songs. That's what I like. But she could not be the artist that she can't keep growing as an artist if she just gets stuck. So now we're over in country. So, okay, I don't know what this is going to look like, but baby, saddle up. Let me go ahead. But she's evolving. We need to be doing the same. We need to always be evolving. I'm not saying we got to all be country singers, right? I don't know nothing about no country. But how can we continue to grow? How can we continue to push ourselves? Just push ourselves a little bit, because a little bit every single day is going to eventually, you're going to see yourself going from point A to point Z. I'm not saying now tomorrow do everything on your list, because it's not going to happen tomorrow, but you're going to become a stronger person. You're going to become a wiser person. You're going to see yourself growing and growing and growing. And as long as you keep doing the same cycle, with our fitness, with our cleanliness, with our keeping ourselves together, with our business, when we go through trials and tribulations, letting it go, moving on, with inspecting our circle. Who do we need to cut? Don't be sad for the cut. Be looking for the cut. If I could cut you, the sooner I can cut you off, the less damage it's going to be to me. The less you're going to drag me back. Don't be dreading it. Hey, because I know if that season's done, that means that God is propelling me to a new season. So also changing our mindset from when doors are closing as a negative versus when that door closes, I know God has a bigger door for me. So I'm excited about this closed door, because that means the blessing is en route. I'm getting close to the blessing. When everything is falling apart, don't quit. That means you are right there next to your breakthrough. But a lot of times, Satan's going to have us worry about how everything's going wrong. You're just doing too much. Who told you could be that anyway? He tries to distract us because he can't stop us. Satan can't just block you, but he can convince you in your mind that it's just not going to happen and make you quit. He can convince you to quit, but he can't make you quit. So you have to always understand, go back and think about Founder, right? Ray Kroc, although he done stole that man's wife and stole that business, he never stopped. Joy in the movie, baby, she done bought mops. She done been stolen. The mops done got stolen from her. She flying to Texas, risking her life to go confront a man. She never accepted no. How many times will you be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just chunk this mop. It's just too much. It's just too much. But if she had stopped right then and there when it got tough, Where would she be? Bankruptcy. She done refinanced her home. She didn't owe all these people. So if you stop in the midst of it, what are you stopping for? You're already in hell. You're already going through chaos. You're already going through turmoil. If I stop, I'm stopping in the hell. I'm stopping in the turmoil. If I keep going, eventually I'll get out of the thunderstorm. Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness. Baby, how many times did you cry for him? When he's in the bathroom in the subway sleeping, it's like, this man really is sleeping in the subway bathroom with this little boy. There were so many times when, honey, I was drained just watching him. Like, honey, I'm tired. I'm tired for you. You having to drop the son to school and then go, study for this exam, and then you having to leave early to go pick your son up, then go run across town to go to the homeless shelter. I mean, how many people can honestly say, I will live in a homeless shelter and still be going to work trying to fight for my dreams? A lot of us is like, you know what, if I'm at the homeless shelter, that just means God just said it's just too much, I'm going to just stop. But you can never stop. I don't care how low you go. You can never stop, because you can't have a testimony without a test. So the bigger your test, and in all these movies, they had a whole, it wasn't just one little oops. It wasn't one little, oh my gosh. They had a really big losses back to back to back to back, but they came out of them, and they came out of them on top. So wherever you are in your walk, just know the bigger your test, the bigger your testimony will be. And we don't want to stop, because we're going to stop in the middle of it. You want to get out of it, and then you're going to really see, whoa, I really got through X, Y, and Z. So once you get through your first storm, it's going to give you your confidence, because you're going to get right back in the storm. I already went through all them seasons. Okay, you're going to have your planting season, your dark season, then your harvest season. So once you get out and you flourish, you're going to have a whole nother cycle of seasons. But this one, you're smarter, you're stronger, and if I can get through that, I can get through anything. So when the dark season comes, you already waiting on it. You already saw you coming, dark. Let's go. I already have my toolkit. When I'm in my dark season, I do this, this, and this. I know it's just going to be a season, so I'm not going to be all bent out of shape. I know eventually it's going to go on back to the harvest. And then once you get used to how it goes, nothing is going to, alarm you. It's like if you have kids. That first kid, you nervous and you laying down stuff and you scared when they cry and cough. When you get that second kid, it's like, oh, you already know the whole routine. Oh, she on the oven, girl, ain't going to burn her hand off. She'll be okay. We're not as alarmed because we are used to all what that first kid put us through. So that second kid, baby, we are barely watching. It's like, baby, you will be okay. So any questions about how we're going to stay ready? Or any kind of input you want to put on staying ready? No?
Hello? What? Oh,
sorry. Oh, no, go ahead. I'll go after you.
Well, that's fine. I had a question, Joy. In terms of the I'm ready, process, or what, I loved what you just shared. What would you think would be a great stepping stone to start acclimating or prompting ourselves to do this step of I am ready, other than saying I am ready, but now putting it into motion and being more aware about the steps ahead?
So whatever you're saying you are ready for, start doing something towards that. So if you're saying, you know what, I am ready for a new position. Well, what are we doing to get the new position? Are we going to any different kind of networking conferences in our industry? Are we working on, revamping our resume? Are we hiring a headhunter? Are we maybe are all of our credentials up to date? Is there something else I could get as a credential that would make me more marketable or more appealing? put something in action means I am intentionally doing something for the goal. I told y'all on one of these Zooms, my new boo is gonna just adore me. We're going on vacations. Baby, I have a whole vacation wardrobe. Swimsuits, sundresses, cover up, baby, don't. I'm ready. I'm being intentional for what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym. I want to be fit. So when I do run to my boo, I'm not, I gotta go lose 5. I know what I want, and so I know what I want in someone, and so now I'm working on becoming what that person would want. I'm intentional in, the second this card, baby, this sand on this carpet, my son done left 4 Chick-fil-A nuggets underneath the seat for 2 weeks. Like every 2 weeks, I'm doing an assessment. Let me go ahead and call my little detailer, come on over and clean my car. The laundry gonna sit on there, but on Sundays, that's my day to walk around this house because I am trying to be intentional in being I need to be, I'm used to having a housekeeper. I'm used to having a housekeeper 3 times a week, all right? I got one once a week, okay? And me and my son are missing. So I'm being intentional in trying to work on these habits. I'm growing my online business. So I've hired a marketing team. I'm doing more things to be more visible. Every single day, whatever you're trying to take that step in, do something in that. And then as you do that, you're gonna be doing more and more and more things, and then pretty soon you're gonna be in it, not even realizing that you are that you're in it. Okay, who is our second person that has something to say?
Hi.
Hi.
What I wanted to say also about staying ready, it's also to be disciplined and constant. And I think self-discipline is a form of self-care and self-love because it's going to create a routine, but it also will allow you to see where your boundaries are. And I think also to be consistent, it's like initially, you're doing things like, okay, but I have to do it, so you do it. But with time, your brain starts to rewire itself and it becomes just like automatic. And you get into that mode when you say stay ready. It's like, initially, you have to do it like you were saying, but then you have a little routine when, in 2 weeks, you have to get your car done, you have to do this. So I think it's to create a little routine step by step, and also to have a lot of grace for yourself. Don't try to do the big things. Like, for instance, me, I like to make sure my nails are always done because I don't know when I'm going to have a meeting. So I always try to make sure, for instance, like once a week, I'm getting my nails done no matter what. Even though I'm like, oh no, I have to go to yoga, I have to go to gym, I have to do these things and it's going to get messed up. But I have to do it because if somebody calls me for a cocktail or something, or if I'm meeting new people, I don't want to have a story like, oh, I was going to get my nails done, or I don't want to have to be like, okay, I'm not going to go out because my nails are not done.
Right.
Because sometimes, exactly what you said, sometimes we complain about the lack of signs or opportunities, but we're also our worst enemy.
Correct.
Like, for instance, me, when it comes to business, I'm a big extrovert. But my true nature is introvert. So I'm like an ambivert. But if I don't force myself to go out, to mingle and stuff, and I think COVID did that to me also, to like, oh no, okay, let me put my sweats, let me do this. And I was like, when I was taking your challenge, and I was like, you know what? I want to be the person I was before I got sick because I had bacterial meningitis. So when you were talking about starting from scratch, so I had that. I was in coma, I was hospitalized, and then COVID hit. And I was stuck in Europe, right? So I had to start everything again from scratch. And also then I started realizing, like, I'm tired of the non-fashion post-COVID. I want to get dressed. I want to be cute. I want to do things again. But again, like you said, you have to stay ready and be ready. So for me, it was like, okay, you need to go back and start going out. You need to be ready and start doing things. And I started doing little things, you know what I mean? Instead of like doing my yoga at home, I was like, okay, let me go back to the studio.
Right.
Let me mingle. Let me socialize. So I think it's about being consistent And then once you start being consistent about the little things, then you can tackle the big things.
Right.
But you also need to do like little steps. Some people want to do the big steps. You know what I mean? I have, you see people, they're like, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you need to first make sure your house is clean, like you're saying, that you're organized, and get a routine. And the other thing is, don't go do a routine from a self-help book. Do the routine that works for you. Because a lot of people, I have a sister, she's an oncologist, and she went and got these books to get organized and stuff. And she spends most of her time in the hospital, and it's not working. I said, well, you need to do something that works for you. What works for Alex? And I think that's also a lot of things that helps people. It's like, what are your pet peeves? What is your threshold? And to work on that versus going to get a book, because the person who wrote that book doesn't have your lifestyle.
Correct.
It doesn't have your issues. It doesn't have your needs, So that's what I wanted to add.
Well, good.
Yes.
Anyone else want to add anything? No? Okay. Well, our homework for this week, well, I guess for Thursday, our last day, our homework is going to be, what steps are you personally taking to stay ready for whatever it is you are trying to become? So give me 3 to 5 steps as to what you're doing to make sure that you're staying ready for who you're trying to become, what opportunity you're trying to have come your way. What are you doing? So we have actionable steps. So it's not just, I want to be a more positive person. Okay, well, I want to be a more positive person, so I'm going to be, saying 5 affirmations, positive affirmations every single day. I'm going to, whenever I have a negative thought, combat that with 3 positive thoughts. Or I want to, own my own business. Okay, well, what are the actionable steps? So we're not just saying what we want. We're saying it, and then we're also coming up with an action plan. So we actually have a plan to actually get to what it is that we're saying that we want to be. So we can kind of start holding ourselves accountable to see, are we on track to becoming this? Because we are planning our work and working our plan, or did we just say something and we don't really have a plan as to how we're going to get there? I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, well, I'm going to stop drinking soda, right? So what are going to be the 3 to 5 actionable steps as to what it is that you're going to do to get to your goal of becoming blase blah? That will be your homework for this week. Any questions from me? Let me check the chat. Okay, if we don't have any questions, I will let you guys go. Everyone have a good evening. I'll talk to you guys on Thursday.
Thank you, Joy.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.